Greetings. This is Arvette McLean of Speak, The Universe Listens. As a very young person, I always felt that I carried the weight of the world on my shoulders, having to make grown-up decisions in order to survive a life marked with physical, sexual, and emotional abuse. While my face was smiling on the outside, on the inside, I always secretly cried and felt miserable. However, over the years, I learned some gems that helped to turn my life around. I now get to live the life of my dreams, filled with love, travel, and wonderment. And I am absolutely passionate about sharing what I have learned with you. If you want to live your best life, tune in each week as I, along with some amazing guests, share these life-changing gems with you. Inspired to be more, do more, have more. Greetings and welcome to Speak, the Universe Listens. Today's topic is loving yourself in your 40s, 50s, and beyond. Today's guest co-host is Karen Robinson, and Karen is actually a senior executive at a mental health agency, but also she's a breast cancer survivor for 6 years. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Yes. So talk to us a little bit about loving yourself in your 40s, 50s, and beyond.
Okay, so your 20s, you're still getting over your teenage years. You know, you're living a little bit. Your 30s, you're kind of trying to settle into adulthood. And for me, I had just had kids. So 30s was getting adjusted to being a mother after being a teenager in 20s. So it was being adjusted to being a mother. Then my 40s, I was like cruising. But my 50s was like, I'm here. And I came to be me. It was no more, I didn't care about what people thought. I had been a good mother with my kids. Then became my time.
Right.
So I was Karen again and no longer mother.
Right.
Yeah. So it's been nice. Like Oprah said, 50s is the new 30s.
Okay.
Yes, that's how I'm feeling.
Yeah, and I can tell that all in your attitude. Like I can tell that you feel good.
Yeah, I do.
So is there anything that you did to help promote that?
I stopped. It didn't matter to me what people thought about me. I was comfortable with being myself. And it was, what you see is what you get.
Right.
I didn't have to prove anything to anybody. I didn't have to impress anyone. And I was able to just be me. And it's comfortable being me in your 50s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I like that too.
I love that about it. Yes.
Yeah. So, what about, are you comfortable talking about your breast cancer?
Yes.
Okay, so do you think that played any role in how you're feeling now?
Most definitely. I mean, once you're diagnosed with I guess a lot of people hear the word cancer and freak out like it's a death sentence. I wasn't like that. And I didn't allow anyone around me to feel bad. If you had to cry, I wanted you out of the room. And I knew if I was blessed to have breast cancer, which is curable, I was going to be fine.
Okay.
My family didn't see it that way. I have a lot of friends that didn't see it that way. But if that's the disease he chose up above, the man up above chose for me, and it's curable, I was fine with it. I mean, it was just another obstacle to deal with. And that's how I looked at it. It also made me realize that you got to live life to the fullest. Because that could have went the other way. I could have been diagnosed with a more severe or traumatic cancer.
Right.
And I was blessed. I had a lot of surgeries, but those surgeries I looked at in a positive way. I got a new body at 50 something.
Right.
Had a liposuction, leg lift. It was the reconstruction they had to do that was more cosmetic and enhanced my 50th womanhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was, I looked forward to all the obstacles that I had to go through. And it wasn't that bad because I look at it now and sometimes I have to pinch myself that I actually beat cancer. So I make sure I walk every breast cancer walk that's here, and live my life like it's golden.
Yeah.
In my golden years.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think you said a lot of things in that, because the one thing that you mentioned was in your years like 20s, 30s, 40s, it was there were things you had to overcome.
Exactly.
And then when you're 50, you now know I can overcome things. Like It's a different level of confidence. Like you've been there, done that. Bring it because I got this.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's why I said it's like Michelle Obama wrote in her book Becoming. I mean, once you get a certain age, you become the woman that you were intended to be. And that's how I feel right now.
Right.
Yeah, that's how I feel right now.
Yeah. And then another thing that you said was that you didn't give credence to, I guess, what the cultural norm is, because you're saying, well, cancer, people view it a certain way. You didn't care what your family was saying and your friends were saying. You decided for yourself, what is this going to mean to me? And then you took action based on your belief system.
Exactly. It did not hinder or dampen my spirits. I was ready to get the surgeries over with, to get it out of my body, and move on to the next obstacle that was coming towards me in life. Yeah, that's how I looked at it.
Yeah. And I kind of see that as how you stay ageless. Those two things are key components. One, been there, done that, and embracing
Yes.
that. And then two, not giving in to what culture says that age means. Because at this time in your life, you're stepping into a new you, or like you said, who you really are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's how I feel. I feel real confident. I struggled a lot in my earlier years with low self-esteem, low self-worth. And I don't have that anymore at this age.
Wow.
I don't have that. Of course I have my times when I'm like, oh God, what have I done? But I think that's normal in life. We kind of doubt where we are, but it quickly passes when I look at all that I've been through to where I am now.
Right.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And like I know for me, a lot of what you're saying is the same process that I went through. In terms of, it came a point in time in my life where I'm like, you know what, I can handle whatever happens, so there's no need of me stressing about things that happen.
Exactly.
You know, things that used to maybe would throw me into a funk or a tailspin. It's like, okay, seen
deal
this
with
before.
Let's deal with it. I mean, because
Exactly.
once you become 50, you've been through a lot.
Right.
You ain't been here for 50 years and ain't been through a
Exactly.
lot. So it's nothing that really can get me down. Even my kids, and they're like the worst. That can, I mean, not
I know
the
what
worst,
you mean.
but they can make you react in a different way.
Right.
I don't even do that anymore because I did what I was supposed to do. Now you're adults. It's time for you to learn
Right.
and make the same mistakes,
Right.
because most of the time they are, that I have. Yeah. And I'm sounding just like my mother. Yeah.
And so, well, you look so beautiful. And I know you said there was a little reconstruction, but other than that, like, what do you attribute that to? Because I can see you easily in one of those ageless beauty magazines.
Oh, I hope so. Oh, I hope so. I don't know. I try to now, because of the cancer, I try to eat more healthy. I'm always, so it's always something in the back. Okay, what is this? What's this going on? I'm always at the doctor's. Just checking out little stuff. I don't like taking a lot of medications because I feel that it's all up here. It's how you feel within yourself. And that's the attitude I had to take when I was diagnosed. I just knew I was going to beat it. And I didn't care what anyone said. Even though it had been in my lymph nodes, which is where it seems to grow to other parts of the body, I still knew I was going to be okay.
Yeah, so I know a lot of times when I tend to get injured kind of frequently, right? So like just today, for example, I ended up having to go to the doctor to get a steroid shot, which I don't like getting shots and things like that. But it's like I get injured, and as soon as I tell anyone that I'm injured, they're like, that's because you're getting old. And I'm like, no, that's because I'm outside doing a lot of physical activity.
Oh, no, they did not say that. No, they did not say that. Like you're not supposed to get injured once you get over 50.
Right.
Please.
Yeah, and then also, I've been dealing with a knee issue. Look, I'm going to wipe that off.
There you go.
But I had a knee issue. And so people will say, yeah, people like us with these bad knees. And I'm like, no, you have bad knees. My knees are healing.
Thank you.
So it's kind of like just kind of, I'm not going to say pushing back against what our culture belief system is, but just to have your own belief system.
Exactly.
Because basically whatever we believe, whatever we think, whatever we reinforce, that's what we're creating. And I get so tickled because, I worked with kids for a lot of years. And so, of course, that was like, maybe 20 years ago with some of those kids. And so they're coming back and they're like, how old were you back then? Because you look my age now, And so they're like shocked, like, what, you're in your 50s? How can this be? Or whatever. And I'm also touched and I'm flattered when people are like, you seem like you're aging backwards. And
that's
so
how you're supposed to age gracefully.
Exactly. And so I know it's all in my mindset because I do remember in my 30s when I felt old. I felt tired.
That's what I was going to say. Tired, old. How am I going to make it till I'm 50? And now that you hear, it's like, woo.
Yeah, it's a whole new world, right?
Exactly. It really is. Mm-hmm. It really is, and I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm like finally living.
Mm-hmm. And I think, too, is we don't have as many distractions. And so we're able to focus our attention and figure out, like, really what is our life's purpose, so to speak.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Now, that's what I have been able to come to grips with. Mm-hmm. I always thought my purpose was in numbers. No, I like helping people. I love helping people. Mm-hmm. So now I've realized in my 50s, that is my purpose. Yeah. That is my purpose.
Yeah, and I always love it. Every so often I hear you, and I hear you talking about, I can feel your passion when you talk about people with mental health issues and how they're neglected and that type of thing.
It bothers me. It bothers me because just because they have a diagnosis, they're still human beings. They're somebody's brother, sister, father. So they still, and I look at it, that could be my mother, that could be my sister, that could be my brother, that could be my cousin. So you still, just because they're diagnosed with a mental health disorder doesn't mean they're not human anymore. And they can't help that they have a mental health diagnosis. Because a lot of them don't understand how they got it or how to deal with it after living well, I guess you could say normal, but what is normal? A normal life in society. And then society ostracizes them so much. And that's what bothers me. That's what really bothers me.
And so I love that you're in your passion, and that it's like you're a voice for people with mental health issues, and that you're able to provide that loving, nurturing environment for them. But mostly it's like when we're still in our younger years, not all of us, but most of us, we don't even know what we're supposed to be doing. We're just kind of doing what we have to do, just
to
kind of,
survive.
right.
To take care of the kids, to put food on the table, to pay your bills.
Right.
Yeah. Those stuff. And in my 50s, I don't even worry about it. Because I know, like you said, been there, done that. It's going to be paid.
Right.
It's going to get done. I may not know how right at this moment, but I know it's going to get done. So I don't worry about that stuff. Is that crazy?
No, that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah. So do you have any tips for people? What can people do to, I guess, start embracing this age? Because I know a lot of people fear getting older. There's a lot of fear with that because of the same thing you're saying about mental health issues. People tend to ostracize people as they get older.
That's true.
And so it's a lot of fear going into that, and it's like fear going into like when your body changes, and maybe you feel like you're not as attractive as you used to be, and that type of thing. So do you have any?
But you can be attractive in an older age. Do you know those? Every year, Essence comes out with women that are in their 50s, 90s, and they look. They look better than these 20-year-olds that's out here. And that's what I've always, every year I look at those and I love it. And I'm like, that's going to be me.
Yes.
That's going to be me. Weightlifting, like 80-some years old, body, stomach, looks like you got a six-pack. I've always loved that. Tina Turner is my favorite person.
Okay.
So I've always wanted to be like that. So I guess the tip is, it's all in your mind. You're as young as you feel, and you gotta think it.
Right.
It's really all in your mind. Like, I really have to pinch myself and be like, oh my God, I'm almost even 60.
Right.
But and I'm loving that I'm almost 60, and still be able to walk and do whatever I want to do. So yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah, and I also love the ageless beauties. I haven't actually had Essence in a lot of years, but back when I was in my 30s, I used to always pull the pictures out and I would post them on my walls, and I'm like, yeah, that's me.
Exactly.
And I'm going to be in the Essence magazine someday. And so, and I remember I saw this lady on Oprah, and I don't know how old she was now, but however old I was at the time, to me her age was really old. So she was probably in her 60s, which now that sounds young, right?
Yeah, to be almost there.
Yeah. But I remember she was just so beautiful, and so, but she actually dated men in their 30s. And so I remember Oprah saying, well, do they, how old do they think you are? Do they know how old you are? And she's like, no, I don't tell them anything, I let them think I'm their age. And so, of course, everybody's like, well, they know now.
They know
or
now.
whatever. But I was just like, yep, I'm going to be just like that. I'm, look a certain way. I'm going to look 30. And so that's literally one of the things I wrote down for my life, is that I'll never look older than 35. And I
But my
plan.
granddaughter says I'm 27.
Okay.
That's all she knows. My Gigi is 27. 27. The same age my son.
All right.
Same age my son.
Yeah, and so, but it's really just like not giving in to the cultural norms.
Exactly.
Not falling into, because you're this age, then you have to be this. Because the truth is, everything in our body, there's nothing on our bodies that's here that was here 7 years ago. Like every single cell regenerates itself. So if that's the case,
Why can't I be?
exactly.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So the liver is the thing that takes the longest to regenerate. So that's 7 years. Most things are brand new within about 3 months.
You are so right.
Mm-hmm.
You are so right when you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I can take off a couple years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Easily.
Easily.
Within a month.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Exactly.
50 is the new 30.
It really is. Except you're coming in much wiser, like how we always say, if I knew then what I know now.
Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
My 20s wouldn't have been so crazy.
Right. Exactly. So thank you so much for talking about this topic.
Thank you.
Yeah, so but basically I think some of the main things you said is that one is we already did our stuff. We kind of have the knowledge now. We don't have to worry about things. So it's easier to step into who you really are.
Yes.
You feel have a different level of confidence. And then also not giving in to the naysayers or, this is the way things are supposed to be. No, how do you want it to be?
Exactly.
And line your energies up there. And then I think also your attitude, like anybody can hear from this podcast how exuberant you are, but just like having a positive attitude, that energy of positivity is what keeps you young, healthy, ageless. And like I say, there's nothing wrong with, it's great to get older. Like, it's really great.
It is.
And so, like, we need to, I guess, not feel the fear, because the fear is
what backs you up
Right.
and makes you feel down
Mhm.
because I'm getting older.
Mhm.
Woe is me. I'm not this. I haven't done that.
Right.
Please, you still have time to do whatever.
Exactly. And then a lot of times we say things like, oh, I'm having a senior moment. Or
I don't say that.
what are other things people say? But basically, like, I forget things as I'm getting older, and they have all these sayings. And also,
That's all negative energy.
yeah, it is.
No,
It
I
really
can't do
is.
that.
And it's like we programming ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So just being aware of our thinking, changing our thoughts, and loving
embracing
it.
it.
Yes, loving it.
Yes.
Yes. So again, thank you
You're welcome.
for co-hosting with us today.
Thank you.
And I look forward to seeing you again next week.
All right.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you guys for joining us on this topic about loving yourself in your 40s, your 50s, and beyond. So until next time, this is Arvette.